And welcome to the athlete briefing for TRI Amsterdam 2026. My name is Richard. I'm part of the organization team, and with this briefing in the next 15 or so minutes, I will take you through the most important parts of your race this weekend. As said, TRI Amsterdam takes place on June 7, 2026 in the Bella Vista Park, Park Zomerlust in Amsterdam. We offer two distances this weekend, a middle distance with a 1900 meter swim, a 90k bike and a half marathon run, and a standard distance, the former Olympic distance, 1500 meter swim, 40 kilometers on the bike and 10 kilometers on the run. This is a nice picture to give you an atmosphere of the park during the race weekend. The main venue for the event is the Amstelkwartier in Amsterdam, which can be reached through several ways. One is the metro station Sparklerweg, which is just on the opposite side of the venue. You can take a train to the train station Amsterdam Amstel, or use the Q Park Sparklerweg. We clearly advise you not to park in the vicinity of the race venue, as that's intended for residents only. And if we don't park there a lot, then we may come back next year. So we advise you to work with us on that. Transition area and start will be in the Park Zomerlust, while the finish and also registration is in the Bella Vista Park, marked here as finish location. Start the program with the schedule of Saturday, June 6th. So at 1 p.m., registration opens at the registration desk in the Bella Vista Park. Then at 1:15, bike check-in opens in Park Zomerlust, the transition area. Registration closes on Saturday at 6 in the Bella Vista Park, and at 6:15 we close the transition area check-in. So then your bike must have been checked in the transition area. When you pick up your race pack, you will get a few items from us. You will get a bib number, which needs to be worn on the back, on the bike, and on the front during the run, must at all times be visible. You will receive a sticker set with helmet stickers on there, bike sticker, and bag labels. You will receive a swimming cap, and if you rented one from us, you'll receive a timing chip. When you head towards the bike check-in in the Park Zomerlust, make sure that your bike number is attached to your seat post, that your helmet is on and the straps are fixed, and that the helmet sticker is attached to the left and the right side of your helmet, and you have your race bib number at hand. Then moving on to the schedule of Sunday, June 7th, 2026. At 7, that's when last minute registration is still possible, and you can check in your bike if you have not already done that on a Saturday. We do advise you to do it on a Saturday because of the large number of athletes that we are expecting. At 8 in the morning, we start with the middle distance, and at 9:15, that's when the standard distance starts, which is also the national championship age group championships. Then after the race, quickly after the race, at 12:15 in the afternoon, we'll start with the first award ceremony on the standard distance. And at 2 p.m., we'll start with the second award ceremony, which is on the standard and the middle distance athletes, which are not already awarded before that. We do the award ceremony for the top 3 athletes, so first, second, and third in the Dutch championships per 5-year age group. There's also an award for the first three relay teams, so if you're in that category, also go there. And there will be overall rewards for first, second, and third. Also, there's a special prize for the winners of the Watt biking kilometer. So make sure you're always also there if you're in the top ranks for that. For the middle distance, the following category awards are available. So ranks number 1, 2, and 3, men and women under 23, 23 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59, and 60 plus, and the relay teams. On to the swim course. We dive into the water. For the middle distance, it's one lap of 1.9k. It is a rolling start. Every second, one athlete jumps into the water. The swim course starts at the rowing center of RIC, and you swim with a loop under the Berlage Bridge and then turn under it and back towards the transition area in the Park Zomerlust. Good to know. The current water temperature has been fluctuating last week a lot with all the temperature changes that we've seen. It's always been between 16 and 19 degrees, which means it's hard now to tell what it is. But currently, it looks like wetsuits might be optional, but we have to say formally the final call we made 1 hour before the start, as it's also dependent on the outside temperatures and the actual water temperature on that moment. So please keep a close eye on this. It is very hard to tell exactly at this moment what the water temperature will be, so prepare for all situations. For the standard distance, swim course is more or less the same, although a little bit shorter than the middle distance. Also here, rolling start, one athlete starting every second from the rowing center. Also, water temperature is the same. The turning point for the athletes in the standard distance is just before the Berlage Bridge, so you do not cross under there, but that will be marked at the moment your start is, because that's the only course which is set out at that moment. Then on to the bike course. Bike course for the middle distance is 2 laps of a little over 90k, with 2 splits where you need to make a good decision to go into the right part. I will come back to that later, to go to your second lap. It's marked here on the map. So in this area, you will go to the second lap. And just beyond Loenersloot, there is a split for the athletes on the standard distance. They need to go left to cut the course, and the middle distance goes straight to have the extra loop down here, which will be clear when you see it on the next map. The course is not traffic free, but low on traffic because we do allow residents to still reach their houses. So there will be some cars, but they will be guided by motorbikes and they will be informed. But we ask you to be aware of that. Keep right at all times, except the first 100 and first and last 100 meters of the bike course. Then you can drive on the left side. So again, if you now see the course for the standard distance, you see it's a little bit shorter loop with the split at the bottom here not made, and there for the standard distance there is no loop to the second lap. So you go straight into the finish area, to your transition area, to change into your run. Also here, keep right, it's 1 lap of 42k. And be aware there might be cars, but as said, they are informed and they are taking care of you as athletes. The 2 splits then will be marked with these signs, so very clearly marked before the split and at the split moment. So the first split is after 20k, just after the city of the village of Loenersloot, where the middle distance goes straight and the standard distance goes left. And after 39k, so near the end of the lap, after the watt cycling kilometer has passed, you get a sign which says next lap to the right for the middle distance only and transition area straight. So that's for everyone. The standard distance first lap and the middle distance second lap need to go straight there. Do note, as we said, the race takes place on public roads, and there are some spots on the course where the road service is not as good as we would hope or expect, and specifically on the West Canal Dike, which is kilometer 21 for the standard distance and kilometers 27 and 70 for the middle distance. So be aware of that. There are several bumps and holes in the road, so mark it. Mention it, watch out for it. We mark it as much as we can, but there are quite a lot, so be really vigilant on that part of the course. We do advise you to adjust your speed where necessary to pass these stretches safely. Some rules regarding the bike course, and we start from transition area. Important to know, especially if this is your first triathlon. In the transition area, you're only allowed to take your bike from the rack once your helmet is fixed. So you're only allowed to touch your bike if your helmet is fixed. You may only start biking, mount your bike, as we say, after the mount line. There will be a line on the floor where the mount line is. So with the bike in hand, you walk to that line, and only from that moment you're allowed to start biking. On the bike course are both races, the standard and the middle distance race, are non-drafting courses, which mean you have to bike all by yourself, and you need to keep a distance of 12 meters from front wheel to front wheel of the athlete in front of you. Be aware of that. There will be officials checking that out, and in case they see you drafting, you may get a drafting penalty, which is signaled with a blue card. It means 1 minute penalty for the athletes in the standard distance and a 2-minute penalty for athletes in the middle distance. It must be served at the next penalty box, which is located at the end of the bike lap, just before transition. If you fail to serve your time penalty, that means a disqualification. So do note that if you get a penalty, that you serve your penalty in the penalty box, otherwise you're disqualified. Then heading back into the transition, there's again the mount line, which is also the dismount line. You need to dismount your bike, get off your bike before that line, and start walking with your bike in hand to your spot in the transition area the moment you've passed that line. Again, also here in the transition area, you're only allowed to unfasten your helmet once your bike is racked again in its right spot in the transition area. So here also make sure you do that. Important rule. And on to the run course. Run course around the Amstel River in Amsterdam, a 5K loop, which needs to be completed 4 times for the athletes on the middle distance and 2 times for the athletes on the standard distance. The map here says 4 times for the standard distance, but it's 2 laps for the standard distance and 4 laps for the middle distance. It's marked going in a counterclockwise direction from the transition area. You head towards the Berlage Bridge through the Martin Luther King Park and with a loop over the big bridge back to the finish area where your spectators can cheer on you when you enter into the next lap. There's several aid stations mentioned on the course as well. So for the standard distance, said there's 2 laps and 4 laps on the run. So there will be 3 aid stations on each lap, serving water, power bar, gels, and sports drink and cola. The volunteers will be wearing vests to indicate what they will hand out to you. There is a cutoff time in place, which is applicable to all the races, so both the standard and the sprint distance, which means that the final run lap must be started by 3:45. So that's the final cutoff. Then we need to start releasing the roads again to the public. The final run lap must be started 4:45. Repeat for the cutoff time. Now, with this key information, we would love to wish you all the best for this race. Enjoy out there. We also want to thank our partners for making this event possible. We could not do this without you. We all wish you a great event. Have a great race and see you at the finish line.